And apparently we are live. I'm just waiting for Facebook to catch us up and to see that we actually are live and that we're live in the right place.
Very important.
Oh, we are. Okay, great. And
I'm just waiting for Facebook to catch us up.
And we have sound. How cool is that? And we have words. This is very exciting. It's actually got words, Jacqui, that is showing. I know. How cool.
Very
anyway. This isn't a tech trial, but welcome, Jacqui. Thank you so much for coming on and talking to me today. We were having a dialogue outside of the accelerator in my messages about how Jacqui's progressing post being in the Conscious Creation Business Accelerator. And I said, hey, let's not do this just on our own. Let's get you out here onto my page and let's talk about all of the things. So thank you so much, Jacqui, for coming on and agreeing to chit chat about your experiences, where you were, where you came to, and how you've been progressing. I can't wait to hear all about it. So tell us, what was your business like, the middle of last year?
So COVID aside, because we won't go into that. Yes, yeah, that's a whole other thing. So I have some consulting work, which I have a retainer for, which I do certain hours. Then I have my business, which I have been busy, and I'm going to use this word intentionally, trying to build for 3 years. And it was in fits and starts, and which was, of course, part of the problem. So I felt like I was juggling so much. And part of that was that there's so many different avenues that you have nowadays that are available to you, to podcasts, and you can do blogs, and there's so much. And I think, I know now that I was trying to juggle way too much of that. And so I was doing nothing that was any good, actually. So I was putting content out there.
Yeah. But it just wasn't, it wasn't hitting the mark for you.
No, exactly. There was no consistency, which was a big thing for me. And nothing was gaining traction.
Yeah. Okay. So you knew you had some of these problems?
Oh, yes.
Okay. So what made you think, okay, now is the time I'm going to find a coach?
So I've had a coach before, which I worked with, it was the best decision I ever made. In hindsight, maybe not the best. No. So I have to give credit where credit is due. In some respects, she was the right coach at the right time, because I learned a lot. A lot. Having worked in corporate for 17 years, you kind of there are people to do all this other stuff. Now, when you become an entrepreneur and you're running your own business, you are the person who has to do all that stuff. So it was really good from that point of view. But there was also, for me personally, there was an overload with this particular coach. It was just, and I think that's maybe what it cascaded afterwards, which is where I was, where I could never focus on those handful of things which I could be really good at. Instead, I was juggling so much because I also had all these new exciting skills.
Yeah.
So working with a coach I've done before, it was definitely worth it, but the trick is definitely to find the right coach.
Yeah. So what made you think that, or rather, what kind of what drew you into the Conscious Creation Business Accelerator? What was it about that particular program that made you think this is going to be the one?
So I have two answers for that. The first one,
I have no idea what she's going to say, so this is fabulous.
No, but this is very true. So when I first came across you, Alison, I think, because we've obviously got some contacts that were in common, and the one thing that really captured me was, and I've written this down because otherwise I knew I'd get it messed up. You explain yourself as an intuitive business coach for ambitious, heart-led, conscious women. And I was just like, me? That's me. And it was just so beautifully put that I was like, I have to follow Alison. So that was number one. Number two then was your 7-day business building challenge, which I did twice. The first time by myself, and then the second time you had reviewed it and tweaked it, and then I did it as part of the group. And even though it was 7 days and it was your freebie, it helped me to refine things a hang of a lot, and to clarify things. So to get sort of out of that muddy waters and just simplify things so much. And then obviously we had a chat a couple of times backwards and forwards after that. And I knew I needed a coach, number one. And you were definitely the right fit because we have similar ideals in common. And like I said, just that intuitive business coach for ambitious, heart-led. I was like, yes, that's me.
That's you. I love that. And I'd forgotten about the 7-day business building challenge. Because you'd signed up and you'd started to do it. And I was like, oh, it's not live. Like I haven't done a live one of those for so long. Like it had just been the frozen freebie that was good, but I had so much more content. And I was like, man, I need to get a boost in there. And I was like, let's do another live one. That's so great. That's amazing. So I love the fact that you owned that. That's me. I'm that person. That's just fantastic. That's exactly what you want, though. And that's exactly what the 7-day business building challenge was doing to you, because you could turn around and say, I'm so that person. And also I want my clients to feel that way about me and about my program, so that they know without a shadow of a doubt. And now that you've reminded me of all of that, I remember you saying, I've nailed my niche. Like I know who it is that I'm speaking to. I know my why without a shadow of a doubt. Like I know how to get that person. So which was huge for me, huge.
It is.
It's huge for everyone. And I think it's, constantly evolving. And until I remember one of the best things for me was when I actually got that first soul client, that just made me fizz from the inside out. I was like, now I'm not even speaking to a hypothetical person. I'm now speaking to, that person. I'm speaking to her. And I know there's lots of people that would resonate with her. And if I just speak to her continuously and I think about her with every piece of content, it is honed right in. And that person is, multiple times, it's me, which is so cool. So with the Accelerator, obviously it's a group program. What were you expecting when you signed up to do the Accelerator?
I'm not sure what I was expecting, but I knew, honest truth.
I know, everyone feels the same.
I knew I needed someone to be held accountable to. So that was like, for me, probably one of the most important things. And then to develop that consistency. So that was 1 and 2. And I suppose based on my previous coach, which was also in a group program, I might have been a little bit apprehensive in some ways. And it's just because that was a very different program, a very different set of people. I mean, some really amazing ladies, and so glad to have connected with them, but also very different. So it's as though the dynamics in the group were all over. Where at least now with your accelerator, it was number one, a smaller group, which was so nice. It was amazing to have a smaller group, because we also all connected. Everyone got more than enough chance to participate and to encourage each other. No one got lost. So it was really a nice, soulful space. And I think what I also learned in between is that on the last program that I did with my previous coach, I never asked enough questions. I never was like, me. So as much as that does make me uncomfortable, I was like, hang on, I am allowed to ask. So I had also grown and learned, but also it felt safer for me to be able to say, hang on, I got a question here. I'm not finished yet. Want some more? Yeah.
And I did love that. I love the fact, because that's what I keep drilling down into people, you know, keep asking questions, even outside of the calls. It's not just don't store everything up and hold on to it until we're in the session. You know, if you've got a question and it's stopping you from progressing your business, then you get in touch, you get into the group, you ask me, you make sure that you tap into that whole 12 weeks of connection and knowledge and wisdom and collaboration to the extreme. So you were a bit apprehensive. I remember that, and I understand. What did you experience when you were actually in the group? What do you think stood out to you as different, as valuable, as life-changing? Because one of the reasons that I said you've got to come on and talk and tell me about this, because I didn't ask in the message, was that you said book me in for the next one. You were like, I wanted to jump into this next accelerator, but stuff happened, coronavirus. So book me into the next one. And I was like, oh my God, what? That's so cool. And I was like, so let's tell me more about that. So what did you experience that you loved so much?
Oh, I don't know where to start. There's so much. Okay, so as I said, like having the small group was definitely a huge factor. It was just, like I said, there was more than enough time, there was enough space. And I think because we're obviously all heart-led conscious women in the group, everyone was really respectful of that, which was really great. So that's number one. Alison, you helped me to trim down all the stuff that I was doing that I wasn't sure what I was doing, which was huge, because suddenly I had a whole lot more time on my hands to focus on the handful of things that I needed to do. I mean, I was going to conquer the world, just I was going to do it in inches by trying to do lots of things rather than focusing on one thing. So your help and your guidance with that was also like absolutely amazing. And I love how you would often like throw a curveball, obviously to keep us on our toes and to make us think, oh, hang on, what do you think about that? Which is good, because we weren't just coasting through, which you shouldn't be doing. You shouldn't be coasting. If this is your business and it's what you really believe in and you're passionate about, you should be on your toes all the time and thinking from things from different angles. I also loved that like every week I had a game plan for the next week. Like that for me was really amazing. So like every week, like, okay, so these are things I'm going to do this week. And that helped me to stay consistent. And that's that accountability that I was talking about. So those two boxes for me very quickly got ticked off. Because that was the two things I was really looking for, the accountability and the consistency. And so this is why I wanted to come on to the next accelerator, is because, like, yeah, of course I know what to do, but it just helps to have somebody who's sort of there going, and how did last week go? Yeah. So that's why I say those are the two big things, was the accountability and the consistency. It definitely helped me to create it, maintain it. You specifically helped me to simplify, which was monumental. And then, like I say, just such a beautiful, warm and encouraging group.
It was such a good group. And tell everybody what you created in those 12 weeks, because I think this is like the crescendo of awesome. And I'm going to ask Jacqui to, put up some links in the comments when we're done, just so that you can actually go and peruse all of the things that she simplified down into this like epic one thing that is all the things, just hitting the nail on the head for her ideal client. So would you share with everybody who that is, what you do, and how you did it?
Yeah, but I'm going to step back a little bit. So I had mentioned that I had worked in corporate for 17 years. So of course, when you're in corporate, you have a certain way of thinking. What I also didn't mention is that it was a male-dominated corporate industry.
Mm-hmm.
I loved my work there. I know I was really good at it. But at some points I did end up, and I like to say that I charged right through burnout out the other side and ended up with adrenal fatigue, because that was literally how bad it was.
Yes.
Luckily, my company that I worked for were very supportive, and they gave me 6 months where I could work half days, no traveling, etc., which was great. And it really helped me on the road to recovery. But then I had to go back full time, and within 6 weeks, I had undone all of those 6 months of half days and no travel. And so we had to choose, my husband and I and my family, like what we were going to do. And there was no option. I had to leave. We couldn't continue down that road. And in my recovery, one of the things that I learned is that it wasn't so much just the work that was part of my burnout and my adrenal fatigue. There's some innate stuff in me, one of which is being a perfectionist, which also contributed to me suffering from burnout. And so in the road to recovery, I had to own those parts that were me, and then find either tools to help me cope and cope better, or with regards to mindsets and limiting beliefs, was to unpack all that stuff so that I could essentially reprogram my brain and my reactions and things. And by being able to understand myself better, meant that I could recover completely and not have to go down that rabbit hole again, which for me has been the hugest thing, because I've watched so many other women around me recover and repeat the cycle, and recover and repeat the cycle. You're like, what are you doing? So, because a life coach had been one of the biggest impacts in my recovery, I decided to study that. I am already a Kundalini yoga teacher, so there's a lot of that, and I've done some kinesiology courses, and so I've taken all these bits and pieces with the life coaching now and have put it all together. And so for the first 2 years, I just kept saying that I was a woman's life coach or a lifestyle coach. So trying to get women to change their lifestyle a little bit so that they wouldn't have to suffer from burnout, etc. But I didn't have the words for it. And I think that's where the important thing is that through a series of all sorts of things, and I'm pretty sure that your 7-day business building challenge was a big part of that too, was I suddenly had this light bulb moment, like, I'm a burnout coach. This is what I have lived, recovered from, and that was it, just naturally the clients that I was attracting anyway, even without using those words. Mm-hmm. So we switched it up. No longer just a woman's life coach, which sounds a little bit airy-fairy, but rather a burnout coach for women, which I love. And I love the work, and I love being able to make that impact and help women to see a completely different future ahead of them, that they're not having to keep repeating the same cycle. And then, with your wonderful guidance, Alison, I took all of the content that I have, everything that I've been working with, and we have now put it into a group program, which I'm so excited about. So it's called Burnout to Brilliance, and it is a 6-month group program. It is jam-packed, full of so much amazing stuff, and I am so excited about it. Yeah, I think anybody who goes through it is going to find their life probably turned upside down, but for the good in the long run.
It's exactly what they need, right? It's everything that you've experienced, everything that you've learned, and some, because you studied the process and the science behind it, the mindset, recovery, the whole shebang, and you've put it into a 6-month program. Now, we could have done something that was shorter, something that was slightly more easier for people to digest. But this is for people that really want to recover. This is for people that don't want to do the cycle anymore. This is for your ideal client who has said, oh, this doesn't feel so good. I need to do something about this permanently. And this 6-month program has got more than enough permanence in it, which is amazing. Oh, yeah. So when is this bad boy launching?
So, new beautiful website, etc., all up and running, which, again, having learned that there are some things that you need to delegate, all part of the process, ask for help, delegate. So beautiful new website. It actually hasn't launched yet. We're about to launch though. And what we'll do is that the sales page will basically go up at the same time, the whole information, everything in it. So wait list will open in the next week. Yes, in the next week. And my hope and plan and prayer is that 1st of April, maybe I make it the 2nd of April. 1st of April is April. Maybe we should make it the 2nd of April.
2nd of April.
Yeah, April. We will start the 1st, which like at the moment I'm busy working. So I have a client at the moment who I met, like she was interested in the program and then she was just like, no, she wants one-on-one. She doesn't want to be a part of a group program, which is also great. That's what she wanted. And some of the changes, because I've used a lot of the tools, and just in 8 weeks, it has been the most incredible journey. And that is only 8 weeks that we've worked together. Like the other day on the call last week, I was like doing the dance of happiness for her because in those 8 weeks, she had completely changed certain things in her life. And it was amazing to see her response and the light bulb moments that she's having and all of that. I'm just like, if that's 8 weeks, imagine how you can transform your life in the 6 months.
Yeah. And having that support circle, like having a group of other people that make you feel connected and enable you to feel heard and understood and that you can empathize with, that in itself is going to be an incredible gift for people to feel less lonely and feel safer. And I think that's amazing. I can't wait for this to come about. It is so perfectly niche and everyone is going to get it. Like it is just, there's an epidemic of it at the moment, regardless of whether we want to say it or not. And I know that you can spot it in so many people now anyway. So you can see your ideal clients from a mile away and you have the tools to be able to help them.
Yeah. I think the other thing that I really love about it, and this is something that is also part of my mission, is to normalize the conversation around burnouts. So it's not a sickness or something that is wrong with you, but rather like, hang on, here's a group of like-minded people who've all gone through the same thing. And suddenly it's like, oh, hang on, this is normal. It shouldn't be normal, but it is normal just because of our lifestyle. And of course, throw in Corona just for added stress. And that many more people are taking that much more strain. They were coping before, and now they're not.
Yeah. Life has changed dramatically for a lot of people, and I think it's brought this to a head a lot more in society globally. Globally now. So I'm excited for you to launch this, and I can't wait. And I know you're going to put this in the comments for everybody. I'll tag you after the video when we're done. But what would you say to others about who is this accelerator? Who is the Conscious Creation Business Accelerator for, in your opinion? Who would you say is due to be in the next round, and who would you like to do it with next? Call them in, Jacqui.
Oh, so I would definitely say it is for, and your words, I think, are the ones that explain it properly, that ambitious, heart-led, conscious woman. And you don't necessarily have to be in a particular niche or field or anything. But if that phrase resonates with you and you are either building your business or trying to build your business, then the accelerator is definitely for you. And everybody needs a coach. Even coaches need
Everybody
coaches.
needs a coach.
Like really, I don't think I can emphasize that enough. Just having, I mean, I've got a little local group here. There's 4 of us who are all mompreneurs, all in completely different fields, but it's quite nice that every second week we get together and that is great and it's helpful. But having a coach just is that extra little bit that does hold you more. Maybe, I don't know, maybe it's like the name, the coach, so you held more accountable. I don't know. Maybe it's just like a subconscious thing. But I think your words definitely explain it the best. So if you resonate with someone who uses intuition, which Alison does beautifully, with someone who is heart-led, soul-led, and you are passionate about just wanting to make a difference in whichever sphere, then the program is for you. And Alison is a wonderful and warm coach.
Thank you, Jacqui. Well, I don't think I can say anything else. I'm looking forward to seeing the next round of the accelerator and seeing who we call in. But thank you so much for sharing this, because I think this is one of the most, important parts. And I know you did a similar conversation with one of your clients as well around the benefits of the program, the things that they've experienced, because there is nothing like other people hearing it from people that have gone through it. Because investing in a coach, time, effort, money, the fear of accountability and consistency is a big thing, because a lot of people don't necessarily want to go all in. They want to stay on the fence. And I get it. I've been there, but I know that it is so much better on the other side when you do go all in, and you do too. But it just makes such a difference. And I'm like you, I always have a coach. I'm always working on my self-development and improvements. And my intention for bringing us women together is always to grow and lead together in our skills to make the world a better place, through the experiences that we've had, because it's so important, so important. I think everyone's journey just connects them with those soul clients so much deeper. So thank you so much for sharing yours. And if anybody is watching this who would like to reach out to Jacqui, because you know that she's talking to you, then I'm going to put a link to tag Jacqui in here anyway, so that you can always send her a DM if her lead page is not up and running in time for you to jump onto the wait list. She can do it manually for you. All right. Thank you so much, Jacqui, for joining me. I'm so looking forward to hearing people's feedback on this video. And if anyone needs to reach out and ask either of us any questions about the accelerator, please do not hesitate. And I'll drop the link below so you can learn more about the accelerator in your own time. Thank you, Jacqui. Bye, everyone.
Thank you so much for your time. Appreciate it.
Always. See you soon. Bye.
Cheers.